Daniel Berger. I'm a physician specializing in emergency medicine, actively serving the Greater Portland community. Thank you so much for listening to public testimony on this important matter. I think there is definitely a significant lack of trust from the public in all these proceedings. As with Mount Tabor Park, the public feels their involvement to discuss the needs or alternatives for these projects has been avoided, allowing us only to engage on the what goes in top conversations. It is not empowering to discuss fences and stuff like that when there's much larger issues at play. Portland Water Bureau administrators have publicly stated, quoted, "Designing and building is glamorous, maintenance is boring." Well, that may be well and true, but it's the responsibility that comes with being true stewards of our public resources. In the process, Portland Water Bureau is selling out the soul of our city with overblown projects that are not needed, putting us further into deep, deep debt, spending money we desperately need elsewhere and don't have in the first place, as well as jeopardizing the health of our citizens and our children for generations to come. It is worth pointing out once again that the rush deadline to complete these projects is fabricated by the city. In a letter to the MTNA Land Use Chair Stephanie Stewart by Eric Gwinicki, Drinking Water Enforcement Coordinator of the EPA, he reiterated that there is no federal deadline to disconnect the reservoirs. The only federal deadline was to submit a plan by April 1st, 2009, and that was compiled a long time ago, albeit without public input. The city can submit a new timeline to the OHA containing a more reasonable and community-approved mitigation plan. Also, like Mount Tabor Park, there are significant land ownership issues that are being brushed aside in the haste to get these corporate contracts underway. Both Mount Tabor and Washington Park consist of numerous different lots owned by either Portland Water Bureau, i.e. ratepayers, or Portland Parks and Recreation, i.e. taxpayers. Both projects, more so at Mount Tabor, but definitely true at Washington Park, have Portland Water Bureau doing work and building infrastructure on land owned by Portland Parks and Recreations. This will prohibit any future use of these by the parks, yet no transfer of deeds, consolidations, easements, or anything has been obtained or recorded. If Portland Water Bureau ratepayers intend to build project on land owned by city taxpayers, it needs to compensate the public. This has been repeatedly brought to the attention of all parties by Portland Water Bureau's engineering surveyors and the city's own legal counsel, but these facts seem to be ignored. To proceed with either project would seemingly be illegal. In other words, it would be like digging a well on your neighbor's property. This basis alone, the application should be denied until these land use and deed issues are resolved. I implore you to please uphold the pledge towards good governance and representing the will of the people and not our corporate contractors. I beg you to fight tooth and nail to delay these projects. They are not needed.
Hey, folks, hey, Mr. Walsh, remember the rules? Thanks.
Yeah, I read the rules.
The rules are,
I think I wrote it.
thumbs up is fine, clapping's not. Okay, please.
I just wanted to note that 2 years ago, when I was briefly water commissioner, asked the Oregon Health Authority if they would extend the schedule, give us an extension, as Rochester, New York had gotten one from the state of New York, and they said no.
Well,
So
ask again.
Well,
Okay, I have to ask you both to stand down because this is an interesting topic, but we got to stick to the criteria. You've given us an issue or two here that we have to
When
ask
can we
about.
discuss these important critical matters?
I'm sorry?
When can we discuss these important critical public issue matters?
I don't know, but this is a historic landmarks and demolition case. So we got to stick to the criteria. You've raised some issues here like land ownership and deeds and easements that I want to ask questions about. So I appreciate your testimony on those issues because those are germane. We got to be very careful how we do this because we're required to be.
May I please just answer one thing?
Offline elsewhere, please.
Okay, well, thank you for your time on this matter.
Thank you both. Okay, next three, please.
Was there a